In this session, we're going to touch on doing scanning in your web page. The agenda will be why integrate scanning into your web page, how to integrate scanning into a web page with the codes later. All right, so if you want to get scan data into web page, Honeywell provides two methods. One is that by default, we have a scan wedge within Honeywell mobility devices. Whatever data scanned through the mobility devices, you will treat as a keyboard wedge into your field inputs. So that's the easiest way for getting scan data into your web page. However, if you want to have better control of the scan engine, like which field you want the data to go into, and also modify some data before the data get fit into your web page, you can use Honeywell Web SDK, which is we're going to touch on today. All right, so why integrate scanning into your web page? Like earlier on I mentioned, there are always situations that you do not want your user to input some data manually. So this is where you require the SDK to control where and when you want the user to scan the barcode instead of input the information manually. Of course, there are also web application that want to scan item and count them along the way. This is one of the common requirement. You can do it within your web page as well. There are also very common requirement of passing or formatting scan data before feeding to your web page. We will show some of these example later. Again, you want to ensure that you are scanning the right data, so you can control within the SDK. There are also cases or use case that customer has encrypted data. You will need to decipher the data before feeding into your application. Again, there are many other use case that based on your operation. So these are all can be controlled with the SDK. All right, the SDK come default usable with as long as you have the license for the enterprise browser. So if you purchase the enterprise browser with the Honeywell Mobility SDK, the license will be included inside there. If you do not have them, you can always order the enterprise browser or the client pack for that include the enterprise license with it. Okay, to get the unit running, you need to ensure that you have the Honeywell setting web application enabled on the device itself before your web application will run. So I will show it to you in a minute, but before that, let's go and download the web SDK. So where do you download the web SDK? You go to the download website, go to software, software and tools, developer library. So you can see the SDK for web. And scroll down, you can see there's this SDK for Android devices here. All right, so the current version 1.20 ended with 0825. So this is the one you need to download. After you download the SDK, okay, unzip them, and this is what you will get in your SDK. There will be sample, the library, and document. Okay, the library are basically the JavaScript that you need to copy them over to your web application. So we have barcode reader and printers. Today we are going to touch on the barcode reader. All right. So back to your document. Okay, so inside your document, what you need to look at is open up the user guide, start up your default HTML file, and open up the help file, and this help file will allow you to give you the detailed description on how to use the SDK. Of course, we will look at creating a basic barcode reading application for your web, right? So this is what you need to look at. All right. The other thing inside here later on we reference is the um, barcode reader object, all this information that you need to look into later on. All right. Okay. So what you need to do next is to use a HTML editor. I would recommend that you use the Microsoft Visual Studio Code. All right, so this Microsoft Visual Studio Code is a very nice editor. As you can see here, it's highlighted all the code for you, and you also help to check certain error if there is a syntax error as well. Right, the first thing you need to do is to open up the sample. This is the basic barcode reader sample inside the SDK. So if you go to your SDK under the sample, okay, basic barcode reader. So this is the HTML file, that you can edit and play around on how to integrate the scanning into your web page. All right, so I already open up here. There are three files that you required for your or the library file required for you to run your uh, scanning in your web page. So you go inside the libs.js barcode reader. So you need to copy the barcode reader .javascript, the ajar file, and also the shift setting file. So these are the three JavaScript files you need to go together with your web page. All right. So as what I've shown, I have it over here. You can see that these are three JavaScript file that I included inside this page called ws.html. All right, so what I did here is, in fact, I copy the exact HTML file here, but I changed it to illustrate how this thing work, right? So basically, I changed some label here, so you can see these are the label created on the page. So let me show you how the page look like, okay, on the browser itself. All right, so these are how the page look like when you browse to it. You have a part with a few entry serial number, with a few entry quantity, and a clear button followed by a log to show any error or any message. As you can see here, we failed to create a barcode status because we are actually running on the PC here, which does not have the barcode reader on the PC. That's why you get an error. Okay, so go back to the code. So this is what we did for the page itself. And inside here, when the page get loaded, we actually do some setup. All right, so let's go and look at what it does on the setup itself. So here you can see this is the setup code, and don't worry about all this I comment out because this is exactly the same code I copy from basic barcode reader here, but I'm not using them here. So I only use the log message element and also the barcode data text here, right, which I get it from the log message ID and the part ID. Okay, so this setup basically check whether the browser support detecting of our web page visibility. So here we allow, in order for you to switch between your web page and another application, and you still can use a scanner in multiple application. So the setup here basically ensure that this is what is going to happen. All right, so one all these thing is check, we open up the readers as you can see here. All right, the next thing is when the barcode reader is open, we will need to check whether is it everything is good. So here, if the result is okay, is equal to 0, that means the barcode reader is open up properly. One is open up and read in the profile. We can change the profile here. All right, so what do we do? We enable the code 39 and code 128. So where can you find all these setting definition? Is inside the SDK. So let's go back to your SDK here. So if you open up your SDK, you can see that there are all various parameters here that you can refer to. Like for example, if there's a error, you can also refer to them as well. All right, let's look at the printer object, and you can see that the setting name and value is here. So if you look at this, we basically look at symbology setting. So like the barcode 39 earlier on we talked about. Okay, so this is a code 39, the option is enable and the value is true or false. So if you go back to your code, right, so you can see that symbology is a family, code 39 enable true, right? So that's where you find get the setting definition from here. All right. All right, so one you have all these setting defined, you commit the setting into to the profile that we have read it in, and you add a event listener when their data being scanned, right? So this is the event listener that being created, and also we also add an event listener for window, to do some job before you unload this entire browser window. All right, if there's an error, we'll show you the error message, like fail to create the barcode reader, which is what earlier on we get it on the page here, right? Okay, so this is an error that came out from the page from the code here. All right. Okay, this is where when the setting is complete, okay, we want to show what is being done. If not, there's an error. We'll show you there's an error of why the setting is not done properly based on the family that we have selected up here, like the symbology, the code 39 and so forth, right? So if you have an error here, it will be shown during the setting process. All right, so when the commit of the setting is done, we can also show error if there is error. So this is for us to show the error when there's an issue, so that you can help it for debugging. If not, you will just skip the function. Okay, there is also an update UI function, which we just basically clear all the field. You can do whatever you want to do here to update your interface when you first started. Okay, this is the part that handle the visibility change. That means when your browser change from event to another opening, the page get hidden. You want to close the readers when your document is hidden, and open again. When your document become visible, right? So this is what the handle visibility change handle function do. And earlier on we already opened the reader, so basically just load from the JavaScript here and close it as well. Okay, yeah, you can just close the reader when the window being close up. All right, we also create uh, a clear click function here to clear all the field. If you remember, you go back to the web page. If you click on this button, basically we will clear all of you. Right, here is before you unload the Windows, we want to show a message that the barcode reader is need to be closed, right? So if it's not closed. All right, so this is the most important part here, which is when the barcode scanner get some data for you, right? So what we're trying to do here is that we are trying to scan the data, and if the data have length less than 10 and the barcode type is code 39, we'll feed it into the parts field. And if the data length is more than 10 and the barcode type is code 128, we'll put it into the serial field. All right, and we also show what being scanned on the log here, like the data plus the type. So this is more for debugging purpose. All right, you can comment out this one in your actual application, but the whole intent is to see things working during your development. All right, so this so much on the code itself. Let's get it run it on the device and see it in action. Okay, let's look at how the code works. Let's go to the device first. On the device, the first thing you need to do, as earlier mentioned, go to Honeywell setting, ensure that your web application is enabled. Okay, so we are good on that. Next, we start the Chrome browser, and here I already have the address enter in. As you can see here, it's actually pointing to my PC with a port 80 under the web folder of web scan ws.html. Okay, I reload the page, and this is how the page look like. You can see the barcode object successfully created as shown in the message. Um, the Due to the resolution, so the screen here does not really appear nicely as what you see here because of the remote display resolution. But anyway, it works. Alright, let's look at the barcode that we're going to scan. So I'm going to scan the first one. You can see that now the PN43 is shown here, and in fact the data scan is capital PN43, and the data type is code 39. So if you go back to the code itself, you can see on barcode data ready method or function, the we check for data length is less than 10, and the barcode type is code 39, and once we got the data, we convert all of them to lowercase, as you can see here. Alright, so let's scan the second serial number barcode. Okay, so we scan the serial number, and you can see that the data go into the serial field, not onto the other field, right? So now even if I scan the third barcode, which is the EN, you can see that now the EN barcode is shown on the log, but it's not shown on the data up here because we did not get this data into the field. Alright, so basically whatever you want to do in terms of formatting, passing your data, editing your data, change your data, here is where you can do all these job here. Alright, so let's try this again. So you can see that here is PN43. If I now change the code 39 to code 128, alright, let's change this barcode to code. Alright, and let's clear the field here. Alright, I clear all the field. Okay, I scan the PN43, which is code 128, and you can see that it did not go into that field inside here, right? So that's how you control where the data go, what data you want to get from the scanner. Alright, so if you have a further question on how to use the SDK again, the SDK help file is very complete, and there are a lot of information here that you can check out there. And of course, you can always go to support at Honeywell AIDC.com and search for web scan. Okay, and you will be able to find information on how to use the web SDK. All right, you can also ask the community for help or post a question to our tech support. All right, so that's all for today in terms of how to integrate web scan into your web application. Thanks for your attention.